A note on Castaway. We have the perfect setting for this note, for we are to a great extent isolated on this island of ours with exotic birds, as you see. Um, the savages are not far away. In fact, they might um, jump over, come here, and cannibalize. I'm exaggerating, of course, but not very much. This being Sunday, they decide to knock about, construct, I don't know what, even if they're supposed to do that on other days. But then for them, there's no a rule, alas. And I'm not talking religious ones, which I don't. I mean, I'm not religious, but any kind of rule. And in the words of William Golding, referring to his masterpiece, Lord of the Flies, the main theme there is what happens when you have no rules, when there is a breakdown of rules, and when you have no rules, you have nothing. That was his conclusion. That's the main lesson to learn from that. In terms of the Castaway, which has to an extent a similarity with Lord of the Flies, because we have someone on an island in the middle of the ocean, the main difference being that he's alone, as opposed to Lord of the Flies, where there's so many. True, he's an adult, able to cope with this more, and then over there the situation is made worse by the fact that they don't support each other in this, they fight each other. But then in the two camps, they find within their own fighting opposing groups, they find some social support, which is crucial. But psychology studies have showed that solitude is twice as deadly as tobacco, and we all know how deadly tobacco is. In other words, this really has an impact on the main character, Chuck Noland, played by Tom Hanks, who won the Golden Globe, and he was nominated for an Academy Award one for this indeed challenging role, because he has to carry the film almost alone. Uh, there is Helen Hunt there, but that's an actress I personally disagree with. I see her as artificial and with mannerisms in the act. So he is on a plane flying over the ocean when the plane has malfunctioned and is crashing into the ocean. Jack Nolan is miraculously unhurt, and he lands on this island where he is all alone. He has, if I remember well, the name is Wilson. He has a ball, soccer ball, football, that he paints over, and that becomes his social support, the only support he has. Plus, again, another important lesson from this film, resilience and grit. Chuck Nolan is a role model in that sense, because he shows an extraordinary grit, which is sine qua non, a condition without which he would not survive. Anyone would not survive on an island. As I said, solitude is terrible on the human body, the human mind, but then the human mind is connected with the body, and they work in tandem, and the damage to one attracts, of course, damage to the other. And Positive psychology demonstrates that those who are positive, for instance, live longer, have healthier lives, better professional, private lives, and that's determined from here. And in terms of resilience, again, it appears, I'm wrong in saying it appears, it is demonstrated by tests that it is much more important than IQ, the IQ coefficient. In other words, it's better if you are resilient, gritty, than if you are intelligent. Where I said it seemed, and it was wrong, um, here it's the good word, it seems twice as important. Here it's not really uh, 2.0, maybe it's 2.5, maybe it's 1.95, about twice as important. And we see it functioning, working for Chuck Nolan, because this is the way he survives. He's of course making, first of all, the material conditions for him to have some water, some food, fish, and what he can. But his determination, his strength, his willpower, termina, the will to power, make it so that he survives being on the island, and then he makes a raft, and maybe he escapes. I will not say what happens to him.